send that hawk to and spit on that thing. You get me?
The Imalent BL50, a powerhouse of light. 3,600 lumens shining so bright, helping us see at night. And the UV light checking the hotel room for any disgusting white goo. A chunky little powerhouse, always coming through, glowing the night with the special glow. Edition from Neil's Gadgets, such a bitchin' glow. The Imalent BL50, the most rad light in the land. A fistful of power, always close at hand, shining bright, cutting through the night. Neil's glowing creation, a true delight. A beacon in the darkness, guiding our way.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jim, and I am excited to finally bring to you the Imalent BL50 review. I have been waiting for well over a month to do this review because I wanted to do it justice. I wanted to take the time and not be rushed and really get a chance to sit down and talk about how much I dig this little light. Now, there are two reasons that I absolutely love it. One, because it is a super high-tech, really high-quality light. And number two, it does this. And I think that's pretty cool. I'm an overgrown child and I like things that glow in the dark. So this is the special glow edition that was customized by Neil's Gadgets. Now he sells these for $90, but there is a link in the description below that you can click on and a discount code that you can use to save quite a bit of coin if you decide after hearing the specs and seeing it perform that this is the light for you. Maybe you'll feel about it like I do. Now, there are pros and there are cons. Not very many cons, but they will not be skipped over. I will make sure to talk about them in this review. Now, first off, what is the BL50? Because it doesn't look like any other flashlight that exists out there. It's a very weird body shape. It's hard to figure out what's a switch and what's a flap and what's this and what's that. It's got a lot going on, but it's super simple and easy to use. This is a dual source light. So what you've got is your standard white light, your LED, okay? And then you have a little UV light. And I don't know, there we go. And my Jack Wolf slip joint here is UV activated with the particular carbon fiber it's got. So you can see the colors pop out of it when it's hit with UV. So the UV control is here on the side switch. Then you also have a tail switch. But why? Why do you have both? Well, let's go through that in just a couple of seconds. So your main light is a Cree XHP 50.3 high. And your UV is going to be a 365, what is it, nanometer? I don't know. Again, I don't know the whole UV thing. All I know is not only is this one of the brightest UV lights I've got, and I do have a few lights with UV capabilities, but it seems to be stronger in the UV and not as bright in the visible light spectrum. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but when I go to use my Trust Fire here, it seems to let off a lot of visible light that I can see compared to this. And it's really not doing it justice here on camera, so I apologize for that. But in person, in real life, it's like I can see more with this. And this seems to be much more just pure UV. And maybe that's just a figment of my imagination. I don't know. So this tiny little package right here that's basically fist-sized is mainly why a lot of people are going to buy this light, because it is very compact and it's a unique form function, right? When you see a light this size, what you're expecting is a wall of light and massive flood. And you get that, believe me, you do. It is stupidly bright, and each mode is individually very useful, from its 5 lumen moonlight all the way up to its 3600 lumen turbo, and every mode in between. However, what you probably don't expect out of a light this size is the fact that it does have a decent amount of throw. Now, I know throw isn't why you're buying a light this size, but they claim 428 meters of throw. So you're going to get that big wall of blinding bright light, and it's going to penetrate through the night pretty well also. That's a nice combination. Let's go through what the modes are very quickly. You've got moonlight at 5 lumens, low at 200 lumens, a mid-low, as they call it, at 600 lumens. So on low, that's going to do everything you would need to do in an indoor space, whether it be in a building that has no power, in your house when the power is out, in your tent when you're camping. 200 lumens is a lot. The mid-low at 600 lumens is a lot for outside in the pitch black as you're walking and you're scanning the perimeter. Lots of light. Then you get to mid-high, it's 1200 lumens. And there are lots of lights out there that their turbo is that or a little bit less. That's just the mid-high. Then you've got high of 2000 lumens, which is incredible. That is a tremendous amount of light from something that's this small. Now it's going to step down from 2000 to 1200 in about 2 minutes to 2.5 minutes. Then you've got the turbo. Turbo is 3600 lumens, and that steps down to 1200 in about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes. And by the way, you can immediately re-click turbo and get it to come back on for a few seconds in case what you're doing requires that you have that mondo amount of light for as long as possible. This light is running a cool white around 6000 K. And best of all, each of those modes are clearly indicated on this LED screen. Now, you might be seeing it fluttering or flickering because of the frame rate of my camera, but you don't see that in real life. That is just a constant display that you don't have to worry about. Not only is each mode and output clearly indicated on the OLED, but also the battery voltage and the lock status as well. So right now, it's letting me know that I've got 3.91 volts, so I'm about like 95% charged. All right, so let's kick it back on. Level 2 is 200 lumens. I'm moving my hand because it's going to start getting hot up there in a second. Level 3 is 600 lumens. Level 4, 1200 banging lumens. Level 5, a stupid 2000 lumens. And then my turbo, 3600 lumens. It's crazy. Now it's going to let me know it's locked and let me know it's unlocked. Lets me know I'm on moonlight or if I have UV. Right now I have both on. So if you start and you turn on your moonlight, and while moonlight's on, you double click, you've got UV and moonlight at the exact same time. In case you're curious, when I had turned out the lights earlier, I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to quickly charge this up so you get the full effect of these when I turn the lights out again. This light right here, I have done a full review on it. That was a customized version by Neil's Gadgets, which is still available. And then these 3 lanyards here, along with the lanyard that I have on this light, are also from Neil's Gadgets. They're called Binitac glow beads, and you can get them with or without the lanyards. I figured if they've already got them tied up on lanyards, I'll go ahead and take a full lanyard because it's got this nice little ring on there that makes it very easy to get this onto some of my lights. Oops. Lock it. 1, 2, 3. Lock. Thank you. Okay. This makes it a lot easier to carry in the pocket too, because I can just kind of flop that out of the pocket and then I can yank it out. Now, let's get to that for a second before I get into the UI and everything. The most fun part for me is the glow customization. I think it was really, really cool. And I kind of stumbled on it by accident, and I'm really glad that I did. Because while I still would have bought the BL50, I probably would have bought the gray one. There's blue, black, gray, and I think there's like an OD green, if I'm not mistaken. I'm really glad to have gotten the glow version. And on the EDC35, when I was buying this, it showed up and went, hey, this is also a special that's available by us. And I went ahead and bought them both at the same time. And this is my #1 favorite go-to tactical light in my collection. It might be dethroned here soon because I just got another light from Sofern, which is a very, very strong competitor to this. But I don't know if this is really going to get knocked out of contention. This right now is my favorite large-sized 21700, my large-sized tactical light. And when I saw the lanyards, I was like, I got to have some of those for either knives or flashlights or zipper pulls. I went ahead and bought I think I bought like 5 of them, a whole bunch of them. And I'm very, very glad that I did. Now, I am an Imalent fan. I have this little guy right here. This is the LD70. I will be doing a review on this one shortly. Believe it or not, that little booger, 4,000 lumens. Like, just ridiculous. That's insane. They're both insane. Now, while it is a lot of fun, I will tell you the novelty will kind of wear off after a while. Anything glow in the dark, you're going to enjoy it for a while, then the novelty kind of wears off. But the performance and the quality of the light is what keeps this in my steady rotation for carry. I'm going to end up having a leather slip made for this, just so that it's not banged up and beat up too much when I'm carrying it in my pocket. You know, the same kind of thing we would put a slip joint in or something like that. I'm going to have a larger one made just for this. Now, the body is a bit slick. So in my opinion, it really benefits from the lanyard. Because if you're going to do things, but it fits very comfortably in the hand. The ergonomics really are great. But if you're going to use it as a tactical light, 1, 2, 3, because I have it locked, correct? Yes. If you're going to use it as a tactical light, which means you're using that rear switch, it might be a little bit slick. So I like having this pinched off right here. Actually, I do it like this or like this. That way it won't move in my hand. Oop, do I have the... There we go. I find it a lot easier to use by having the lanyard on here. So that's my downside on this light, is the fact that it's very slick feeling. Over time, you may find little things that you might want to add to it. Maybe something like talon grip, something you might put on a polymer frame pistol. Maybe the more rubbery feel one, not the sandpapery feeling one, because that might be a bit rough going in and out of the pocket all the time. But a nice little grip texture would be good. And I love the fact that you have the multiple outputs from the different switches. Let's talk about that since I'm talking about UI. Let's discuss the UI in detail Okay, as I've already shown you a few times, triple click will lock or unlock, not double click, 1, 2, 3. It will lock or unlock the light. So it's perfectly safe to carry in your pocket. I do it all the time. It has never fired in my pocket, not even once. And I have carried this for a couple of months. Here's the way it works. You could do either button to lock or unlock. It doesn't matter which one. Now, side button only. That's this right here. Over here, by the way, is your USB-C charging port, in case you were wondering. But this switch right here, which again, if you were to get the glow version, is going to be illuminated. Standard versions will not be. This side button, double click to UV. And single click gives you your moonlight. Now, I'm not a big fan of 5 lumens for moonlight. I would much rather it be a half a lumen or 1 lumen. But I think for most people, it's probably going to work out just fine. Now, everything else is going to be your rear button. Single click takes you back in memory mode to the last mode that you used. Click and hold lets you cycle through the different modes, which again are going to be indicated on the OLED display here. So if I just want to be at 200 lumens, bingo, there we go. I want to bump it up, fine, there's 600 lumens. Single click to go back off. That's it. Oh, but I'm sorry, and double click is turbo. That's as simple as you can get for a user interface, and I love it. Because there are a lot of lights out there that you're trying to remember different combinations of double clicks and triple clicks and this and this and this and that to figure out how to get into different modes. And if you're like me and you do carry a lot of varied different lights throughout the week, you might forget as you grab this, well, how many clicks to do this? How many clicks to do that? If I just got to click on and click off and then hold down to cycle, that is the easiest possible UI for me. And the LD70 is the same way. Yeah, dear God. Oh, that's crazy. That was already getting hot, just that quick second. All right, I suppose I should show you guys what the beam looks like before we go outside to give you an idea of what it's going to perform like. Okay, let's take a look at the beam pattern here. And what you're going to notice once my camera focuses on it, if my camera will focus on it, there we go, is you have a really large hotspot. And then you've got a decent amount of spill, which gives you a good amount of fading light as well. And there's no real harsh cutoff. So again, this really is a very useful light. There we go. It's probably easier to see it here. Let's compare it to my MSR. Oh, let's turn down the MSR. As you see with my D4 V2, it's extremely floody. I'm going to back this up just a little bit. It's a very, very wide floody light. This has got a lot more of a hot spot to it, which means it's going to have more capability of throwing. And that is because of that very deep, high-polished reflector versus that being a quad sitting right up there with just standard optics. And comparing it to the LD70, and again, that is primarily flood. Very little throw to this. And there is that nice defined spot. But what you really want to see is how this performs in the actual dark. So, I say that now it's time to get outside and see how this puppy performs. There's low. Medium. High. Oh, there's high at 2,000 lumens. And now, turbo at 3,600 lumens. And it lights up a lot. Now let's do a little walk around. Medium at 200 lumens. The medium 2, I guess, which is 600 lumens. Nice hot spot, nice spill. And there is the high at 1,200 lumens. And then our insane turbo at 3,600 lumens. Look at that hot spot. It is staying on turbo, but boy, it is getting hot.
The Imalent BL50, the most rad light in the land. A fistful of power, always close at hand, shining bright, cutting through the night.
Well, there we have it. All done, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it. And hopefully now you understand why I dig this light so very much. It is just super cool. It's got a crazy amount of power, and it's got that little bit of, I don't know, cool factor to it. So if you had been considering buying one of these at some point and you needed to hear some pros and cons, is it the kind of thing that I really want in my collection? Am I actually going to carry it? Is the body going to be too slick? Is it going to be too hard to hold on to? Hopefully I answered all those for you. If you enjoyed this video, please click like and consider subscribing as well. And I will be back with many more videos coming soon.